Okay, so I am going to open the chat just in case somebody needs some suggestions for a variation of a pose. Or you can always come on if you want to as well. So let's take a moment here to connect to ourselves, to our breath. Notice where you feel your breath in your body. Noticing the quality of your breath. Is it shallow or deep? Quick or slow? Is it maybe catching somewhere? And notice where it's flowing. Taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm if that's comfortable for you, and long, slow exhales out. Our class today is on Santosha, contentment. So first, a quote. Accept everything about yourself. I mean everything. You are you, and that is the beginning and the end. No apologies, no regrets. For many of us, looking at the ways we are imperfect and how we can be better or stronger is far more natural than just looking at the ways we are already pretty great. A critical eye serves us well in some environments, but it's exhausting and counterproductive to spend so much time on relentless improvement. Santosha reminds us to look at ourselves and find peace and acceptance, a far harder process for some of us. In our yoga practice, Santosha is about accepting our perceived limitations and, what's more, celebrating them. It's about finding a sense of contentment for where we are in our practice and where we are in an emotional and spiritual practice. So I invite you to do a body scan here and notice what feels tight, tired, and sore. And notice that is where your attention goes first anyway. But now notice what already feels good. Notice where your body is already at ease, content, and comfortable. Santosha is the state of underlying contentment with what life is offering you. When you are ready, finding some small movements in your body. Perhaps you roll around wrists and ankles, maybe find a big stretch. And in your own time, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently making your way up to seated. Great. First shape we're going to come to on the earth. So you're going to, it's going to be a reclined goddess pose. You're going to need a rolled up blanket. So nothing too thick, because this is going to go down the center of your spine. And you want the blanket to be long enough so that it goes from at least the tailbone to the top of the head. Okay. So rolled up blanket, and then also 2 blocks, or maybe it's pillows, something that you can place underneath your knees or by your hips. Okay, so once you are ready here, you're going to come down onto that long roll. So the roll is on the mat. And maybe you scoot yourself up a little bit if it feels good to place your tailbone on the blanket. Whatever feels right for you here. So first we'll come into the legs, and know that you can always come out of this pose if you need to. Maybe you remove the blanket, or maybe you change the position of your legs, whatever you need. Okay, so finding your props and bringing them close by, one on either side of the body. And then we're going to place feet on the earth, knees are bent. We're going to walk our feet out towards the sides of the mat. And then turning the toes out towards the sides, so your foot's kind of on an angle. You're going to activate your feet, so it's like you're slightly curling back your toes. And then allow your knees to open out towards the sides. You're going to come onto the pinky toe edge of the mat, of your toes, of your foot. Okay. Having a hard time finding words today. All right, so you have an option. If this feels like too much, you can always walk the feet away from you a little bit. So it comes down towards the foot of the mat. And then props are going to come either underneath the knee or where the hip and the thigh meet, just depending on how much support your body needs. Okay, so for our arms, 2 options here. Arms come down by your sides, palms face up. Or if it's in your body, finding cactus arms or goalpost arms. So elbows are bent, arms are at 90-degree angles. And then sink and settle here. Notice how the blanket feels in your back. If it's really thick, maybe you need to come out of this pose and unroll it a little bit so it's a thinner roll, or maybe you just remove it altogether. Notice how the legs feel. Can you soften the legs? If you need to, you can always bring Feet back to the earth, knees bent, and then walking the feet wide on the mat, knees come together. So you're not stuck in any pose during our practice. Contentment, right? So find what feels amazing. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Another quote. When all your desires are distilled, you will cast 2 votes: to love more and to be happy. How often do we think to ourselves, I will be happier when or if? If I do more yoga or stretching, I'll be more flexible. If I meditate, I'll be more at ease, more content. If I'm contented, people will love me. When people come to yoga, they may be looking to clean up their act, to find happiness or contentment by adhering to the principle of ifs. Are there any ifs or whens that you have been holding yourself to lately? If I do this, then this will happen. We can waste a lot of energy trying to fulfill the conditions we place on our life. We try by pushing away the things we don't want to attract. The things, I'm so sorry. Let me try that again. We try by pushing away the things we don't want to attract the things we do. Then, when we get what we want, we may lose it again, or we may never get the things we pursue. The set of conditions becomes a moving target. Initially, we may feel content with attainment, and then an apathy may fall over us as the thing we sought so eagerly loses its shine. But yoga is not about meeting a set of conditions so you can find happiness. Instead, it is a practice of meeting all parts of yourself with sweetness and love. Your shortcomings, your stiff body, your aching heart, those extra pounds, and the mood that swept through your house, your breakups, your sickness, your boredom and impatience, especially your confusions, doubts, and fears. Santosha is an inside job that asks us to ride the waves of our life as it is being presented, and to look for the sweet spot within that radiates satisfaction, regardless of our life's conditions. Life is a gift. We may not like all the comings and goings, but they make up a life, our life. Gently bringing your awareness back. Perhaps you activate your feet and bring your knees back towards center. And then maybe stretching the legs out long if that feels good for you. Then we're going to roll over to one side. So whichever side you want to come over to, bringing that arm up by your ear, and then slowly rolling over so that your head comes onto that arm like it's a pillow. And the opposite hand comes down to the earth to help you push yourself up to seated. Okay, we're going to find a side body stretch. So you will need either pillows, stacked blankets, or a bolster. You will need 2 blocks or pillows, something that will come, one will come underneath the head and one will come underneath an arm, possibly. And then also, if you wish, you can find a blanket to come between the legs. All right, so the way we're going to set it up is kind of around the middle of the mat. You'll put down your bolster or whatever your prop is. Hopefully you can see it okay. So it's going to go this way. You're going to bring your blocks or whatever props you're using close to the head of your mat. We're going to sit the right hip up against the side of the prop in the middle of your mat. And if you wish to, you're going to bring the blanket between the legs. So we're going to allow the legs to come to the side, like kind of in front of us. And then slowly walking yourself over so that you're coming over the bolster. And then option here, if your head doesn't come all the way to the earth, maybe placing a block under your head. Sorry, I just realized. Right arm is going to come out kind of like in a T shape, palm faces up towards the sky. All right, so it's in front of your body. Head comes down to the block or the earth. And then if it's comfortable for you with that other block, you're going to reach it away from your head. Left arm reaches up and over towards that block. So maybe it doesn't feel good to bring that hand over towards that block. Feel free to place it wherever feels comfortable on your body or on the earth. You're going to soften here into this shape. What can you do to find contentment in this shape? Find yourself in this moment and breathe. You are here right now. Can you find a little more contentment here? What can you do to feel even more comfortable and at ease? So if we were in person, I would just allow for quiet. But I don't want you to be wondering if I'm still online. So I'll lead you through a little bit of relaxation here. Noticing the sensation that you feel in your forehead, around your eyes, and softening here. Release any tension that you feel. Noticing your upper jaw. And then imagine that you can soften both the inside and the outside of your ears. Notice what happens to the upper jaw. Bringing your awareness to your jaw. What do you feel? Is there tension? Can you soften the lower jaw? Can you allow your head to sink and settle, releasing any tension that you feel in your neck? Is there a way that you can do less here? I know you're lying on the floor, but are you holding yourself up in any way? Gripping anywhere? Is your mind wandering? Can you do less? staying connected to your breath. And then gently bringing your awareness back into your physical body. Maybe you make some small movements and fingers and toes. When you're ready, if that left arm is reaching up and over your body, bringing that left hand um, towards the front of your torso, so in front of your chest. We're going to use the left hand to push into, to slowly unravel and come up to seated. And then in your own time, you're going to just turn your body to the other side. So left hip will come up against the mat. So you're going to find your variation on this side, what feels good for you. So the left arm is going to come out long. And perhaps that right arm reaches up and over. Softening here. Bringing your awareness to your shoulders. Releasing any tension here. What can you do to find a little more comfort and ease? Does it feel like you are trying to hold yourself up somehow? Can you soften into this shape just a little bit more? allowing the hips to soften. Letting go of the need to do anything. And just be present with your breath. Coming back to the sensations that you feel in your body. Can you notice where it feels good? And then gently bringing that right arm up and over, bringing it in front of your torso. And then pushing into your right hand to help you slowly come up to seated. All right, so next pose, the only thing you're going to need is a folded blanket. Or maybe a pillow. You'll see when you come down what will feel good. All right, so we're going to come into a cuddle pose. So in our cuddle pose, I'll show you first. We're going to bring the blanket down so that when we come down onto the front body, the blanket will be on the left side. Okay, so if you look towards the head of your mat, blanket's towards the left. We're going to come down onto the right side of the body. And then bringing the knee and ankle on top of your folded blanket. So the higher the blanket is, the more of a stretch. The further away, the gentler it is. And what we're going to do, if it's comfortable for you, is slowly start to roll over onto your front body. You can use something underneath your head if you wish, or maybe it's placing your hands underneath your forehead. Again, make any adjustments here that feels good for you. Maybe it's a little more of a sensation or less. And you're only going to roll over onto your front body as far as it feels good. Can you see the good here? Rather than focusing on maybe a place that doesn't feel great or something that's going on in your life that doesn't feel good, Can you notice what already feels good? Maybe notice where in your body or in your life where you already feel at ease, content, and comfortable. Releasing any tension, especially in the shoulders and the hips. And perhaps hardest part of this shape on the earth. And maybe you can find a smile. And gently bringing your awareness back. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to extend that right arm long on the earth and you're going to roll over onto your right side. Okay, so it's entirely up to you how you set up on the other side. Maybe you just kind of roll over, or maybe you come up to seated and then place the blanket on the other side. And then whenever you are ready, coming on to the left side of your body, onto your left arm. And then right leg comes over onto your prop. Allow it to be your knee and your ankle, excuse me, to be supported by the prop. And then slowly start to roll over. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe using your hands as a pillow underneath your forehead, or whatever feels best for you here. Are there any adjustments you need to make to soften into this pose? Notice where it feels good in your body. Where do you feel the most at ease? So you decide when this side feels complete to you. When it does, extending the left arm out long again, rolling over onto that left side. And then you're going to find Shavasana or any final resting shape on the earth. Use as many props as you need to help yourself feel really comfortable. Radical contentment is hard work. It involves being vigilant in your response to any voices in your head that tell you you are not enough as you are right now. You are enough. There is nothing to fix here. There is nothing that needs to be done. There is nothing to change or work on. Just be. Notice if your mind starts to wander. Can you come back to the present moment? Can you do less? Can you find underlying contentment with what life is offering you? The mantra Om Shanti 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 means Om, peace, peace, peace. If the quiet is difficult to be with, maybe repeating those words to yourself, that mantra, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, to find peace and contentment in every moment here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And gently bringing your awareness back into your body, into those sweet spots. Feel your breath here, prana, energy, that reminder that you are here in this moment, that you are alive. Making some small movements in your fingers and toes, perhaps rocking your head from side to side. And in your own time, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then gently making your way up to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. I honor this virtual space that we are in that has allowed us to come together to practice today. I honor all the teachers who have come before us from India and around the world who have brought us this beautiful practice of yoga, of freedom to all of us. And I honor you for being here today and for sharing your practice with me. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful evening.